Hello everybody, it's me, DJ Razorblade, back once again for another installment of my my little tour of Ramsgate Studios, how I use my equipment here, what I'm going to be using it for. Wasn't planning on doing another video quite so soon, but it's about, well, yeah, about 5:15 in the morning. I'm wired 6 ways from Sunday, and I'm actually working on the next installment of Ramsgate Radio. It says, well, it's going to be the RVB dedication special. I've got a whole bunch of tunes lined up here for a bunch of people that I'm going to be dedicating them to throughout the show. So it says we want to stick around for that. But I figured while I was working on it, I might as well do a quick little video, show you my main mixing rig, the one I use when I'm doing Ramsgate Radio podcasts, and how it differs a little bit from my mobile setup. It says, well, it's kind of late and I need to get some sleep for the morning, but we're going to get things kicked off right away. So as you can see here, I've got everything fired up, ready to rock and roll, and I've already been working on this for, I guess, about an hour now, just getting my playlist set up inside of Tractor Scratch here. But it says, well, what I'm going to do is just show you a little bit, first of all, you know, how the setup works. So we got the Mackie D4 Pro mixer here in the middle, and the Pioneer CDJs on the side. Now what happens is when I'm using this thing with Tractor Scratch, they ship with a special set of, if you'll see down here, it's kind of dark, but you'll see a special set of cables, the red one. You know what, hang on a second, I'm going to turn on a little floodlight here and get us a little bit more light on the situation. Oh, that looks much better. Wish I thought of this to start. But you look behind the mixer here, and now normally, you know, you'd see the RCA connections would be going out from the mixer and the CD players, just straight out to whatever sound system you have hooked up. Like, you know, they'd be going out to like an amplifier or something like that, or whatnot. But what I've actually got here is, you see there are these special cables right here, you know. And what it is, these are the multi-core cables. They go around the side here, and basically what happens is you use the multi-core cables to connect the the mixer and the decks, whether you're using CD players or vinyl, and you use them to hook them up to, like down here, a little bit dark again, that's the Audio 8 DJ underneath there. You use it to hook everything up to the Audio 8 DJ, and then that connects through USB to whatever kind of computer you're using. In my case, it's an iMac. And you run the software on here. Seeing I've got tracks loaded into the deck. The layout is definitely a little bit different than Tractor 3, but there's a lot of stuff you'll recognize. The main thing is that there's nothing in between to work for the mixer. You see right in here, all you've got here are your controls for delay and stuff like that, but it's still got the same thing for, you know, setting up, browsing to your collection and your playlists. And the hotkeys from the last video I mentioned down here, a little bit blurry, but there's a lot of glare, so I'll do my best to eliminate that before I post the video for you. But, you know, like, for the most part, it's all very the same. The big difference, right up here, what you're going to see right here, these are the waveform time codes that work with the CDs. And I'll pop one of the CDs out of the player just so you can see how it works. Okay, so when Tractor ships, it ships with time-coded CDs and some vinyls. Now, I don't have vinyl decks. The only one I do have is a belt drive unit, but if I ever decide to pick some up, I've got time-coded discs stacked away with the rest of my vinyl that we can use. And basically, when you're playing a track, it says, well, we're going to play back a little clip here for you. We've got a Chemical Brothers track here on the stereo for you. Ah, okay. Didn't have that set up, but what you hear there is actually the music coming out of my headphones. Right there. Wasn't paying attention. But yeah, you see the little bright lights above the channel meter. If you want to cue up a track on the headphones, you just have to press that button. It comes on or goes away. You know, just like that. But we're listening to it through we want to hear it through the speaker, so I'll move the crossfader over. And the crossfader is actually a lot more sensitive than what you're going to hear than the one on my Hercules mixer. Like, it's smooth as butter. So it makes it great for if you're a turntablist DJ and want to learn how to scratch, it'll work great for you. And you can do all the same stuff that you can on the Hercules mixer. You can make adjustments to the channel gain here, make it louder or quieter. You can take the bass out of the track. And you'll notice the effect is much more noticeable because, again, the speakers I'm using, my M Audios, there's one of them right there. The music is a lot more, the effects on the music is a lot more noticeable. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff on the mixer we're going to get to at a later date. And we're going to go over here and show you. You'll hear the same section that keeps repeating over and over, and that's because I've got a loop going, same as in the last video, which I control that kind of stuff with my MIDI controller here. You'll see if we go back up to the screen, a little bit of glare. It's going to keep repeating that same track. Between the two green points on the waveform, that's the loop I've got set up. I've set up for a 16-cue loop. So I press this little red button here on the deck, and the loop disengages. Just keeps on going down through the track. You're going to hear the beats are going to kick up a notch here in a second, just to give you an idea of how that's coming up. Or not. It's I got a long intro, long outro, but the other same thing, there we go. And then of course there's the other major aspect in which this differs from my mobile setup. Just turn that down a little bit. The other main difference where this differs from my mobile setup is the Pioneer CDJ players. You see it's got a rotating platter. Well, the platter doesn't rotate, but what it does allow you to do is it allows you to emulate vinyl. It's not as good as the real thing, you know. A lot of DJs still prefer the original feel, but it's remarkably close. And you can put your hand on the platter to stop it, for example, just like a real record. You can adjust up here in the corner these two knobs. You can adjust the speed at which the track powers down. Just like this, you can make it go really slow. Check this out. And that's when you touch the platter. The same thing can be done. You can, the bottom knob here, same thing, startup. And it's got all the same, almost a lot of the same stuff that you can do on vinyl. You can do with the Pioneer CDJ. A lot of the same tricks. And of course, there's the ever popular trick that a lot of turntablists work with. There's some scratching you can do here. And when I'm doing that, you'll notice that this thing goes along with it too. And the waveform keeps moving. So there's a ton of stuff that you can do with this. But for the most part, it all works pretty much the same as my Hercules. Says, well, again, there's lots of other differences that have to be taken into account for it, but again, that's the basic stuff right there. Other than that, it's really not all that different. And like I said, it's a lot of fun to do. I would like to show you guys how my microphone is set up, but unfortunately I can't really do that when my speakers are on because there's some massive feedback. So whenever I'm doing a Ramsgate Radio podcast, I actually have to mix in the headphones without the external monitors. It's a little bit trickier, but you get the hang of it pretty quick. And says, well, that's pretty much it. Like I said, just a quick run through of a few of the differences and a few of the similarities that my main setup has compared to my mobile one. Hopefully we'll be back again real soon. Show you a little bit more about how again, as I said before, we're going to blend some tracks, and make the mixes come off real smooth. But that's it for now. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.